Alright, welcome back everybody. This is the advanced submarine tutorial as continuation to the basic submarine tutorial, which should be up by now. So, let's go ahead and hop off the roof, or the raft as we do, and start building our submarine. So, what we're going to discuss today are going to be hydrofoil controlled depth, which is going to allow us not to have the empty space needed for the air pump to work, because empty space is actually kind of expensive, and we don't want to pay anything, you know? We want to make this a cheap submarine, right? And it also is going to make it's also more reliable, as it can't be taken out in one shot, because a breach in the hull is going to mean that the previous design would sink uncontrollably. Also, we are going to have some basic Lua scripting, which is going to allow us to measure our depth based on the surface floor instead of the water, which is a big upgrade, because it allows us to, you know, stay from 40 meters from the bottom instead of 40 meters from the surface, which is of course a superior way of doing it, right? So let's go ahead, and we're going to still be using metal, because, well, metal is going to give us the more of the armor rating. Now we have no need for this thing to be very depth reliant or very heavy. We could make it out of wood. We could actually make a submarine out of wood, and I have made it multiple times, so it's perfectly viable. If you have lots of wood, I mean, you can make a giant submarine out of it. It's fine. However, you will have to use this technique instead of the previous one. That's a keynote to be taken. But alrighty, let's go ahead and start working on our basic platform. We're going to make this actually slightly smaller than last time, which is quite exciting, isn't it? Well, not really, but... Also, I'm going for a more square design because it's quicker to do, and, you know, nobody's got time to make those circular things. At least I don't, ever do them. And people probably hate me for that, anyway. Let's just have these side armor plates going on. 3 blocks should be plenty, but I'm going to now get the top armor, which is probably the most important part. So, you know, if you wish to put extra reinforcements here, that's absolutely a wise choice to be making. I'm just looking at it, and I might need some more space, but horizontally, I think it's gonna be fine. Let's go ahead, and this is a challenge, I suppose. Now we're going to have a very different kind of design when it comes to, we're just going to try to maximize our firepower. If this thing fails miserably, then this thing will never be uploaded, so it's going to work. Okay, I can guarantee it's going to work at least, or it's going to fail so spectacularly I can't not upload it. But I hope that's not going to be the case. Anyway, let's have 4 blocks, should be plenty of, I think we're going to go for the similar 5-block design, but we're going to have 9 of these bad boys, which is a lot more firepower. 3 times more to be exact, which is a big upgrade, and I think it's going to be worth it. There we go. And how many is this? I'm just getting worried. Is this just 4 blocks, isn't it? And it's not connected. Oh no. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that should be pretty much fine at this point. And let's go ahead and start working on the controllers. We're going to have some 6-way connectors here, and then we're going to have to connect controller. This is a very easy ship to build. I usually build ships that are very much similar to this thing when I'm designing new submarines, trying to make this design more efficient. However, now I'm just, you know, yeah, it's fine. Let's go ahead and take the symmetry off so we can have these things going on. And I'm going to have a 0.2 delay. Let's keep the 0.3. It's fine. Now we're going to have our AI, which I think I'm going to... Let's see, can I fit it somehow? No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to have a mainframe here, and potentially, the left and right here. Yeah, I can make that thing happen. That's wonderful. We will be using Naval AI this time, and we will be using a couple more AI cards, because this is what we had last time. Now we're going to make this a bit more advanced. We're going to have... You see? No, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant, thank you. We're going to have propulsion balance, which is going to allow us to stay on target, and... Let me see, is there anything else I really need? I suppose not really. However, we could either, well, at this point you can just have whatever you wish, I suppose. What we're going to have is going to be the aim point selection. I'm not sure if this actually matters when it comes to, you know, missiles. Very possible it doesn't, but yeah, we have the space. Why not? And now what we did not do last time, we're actually going to have a lure box. We're not going to go to advanced, that's for the expert tutorial. However, this is the but you know, we're going to have some basic code there which is going to help us guide this ship where it needs to be. And we're going to extend the platform by 1 for the engine. That looks really weird if I do it that way. Go ahead and have the fleet main color. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the number 3 color. And some engines going on. This is a very small engine we are building, which I'm just making me be a little bit worried. It doesn't have to be too efficient though. We are not going to be having as much power as we did last time, because it was just completely pointless. I mean, unless you want to have shields, then yeah, you want more power, but we don't. We're not going to have any shit at all, ever. Well, I doubt we're going to have any in this design, let's just put it that way. Ooh, and I'm missing the mirror line, am I not? Yes, I am. Now we are going to have actually exhausts at the top, because we can't have anything else there. Or can we? Actually, yes we can. Yes we can, they are one of the best carburetors. I was making a terrible mistake there. Now we're going to have some superchargers. There we go. Maybe some more superchargers, possibly. Maybe here, that would work. Maybe at the end. That should do the job, and then the rest will be engines on. Oh, we already have plenty of power. Well, that's handy. I'm just going to have some more so we can actually have some shields. Yeah, we will have plenty of power for shields. I could have made this way smaller, I suppose. There we go. That's 500 power right there. Fantastic. Now we're going to add some of these guys over here, and a little bit of a cover for this thing to be shielded by, and a mount for propulsion as well, of course. There we go. I guess I should color this area as well, just to keep it consistent. There we go. Let's make this thing complete. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Looks like we have it all on sides. Fantastic. Now, there's very little room for the resources, which is a little bit worrying, considering we will need some ammo processors, that's for sure. Then we will need a supply pump, a SK crate, and a supply pump. Then we will need, of course, some ammo barrels. Oh Christ, we will need a fuel processor, some ammo barrels. As you can see, this is kind of tough to get everything fitting in such a tiny space. However, I believe it is going to be possible. Fuel storage tank over there, ammo barrels over here. Or ammo, yeah, 2 ammo barrels, that will do, right? And maybe ammo barrels on top here. That's not a very safe place, but we don't really have options. This should do, I hope anyway. I most sincerely hope. Is there any other place I could do it? Any other place? Does not seem so. What a fantastic... Oh, here. Just use every opportunity you have to put some ammo. Good enough now. Alright, then we're going to have some propulsion. Some huge propellers, and now we have to make sure the output is going to stay at about and around 100%. We'll see if this is going to change things, how much. Oh well, these are all being used at maximum, that's fantastic. Okay. Okay, looks like there's a very efficient placing of these things. This is going to be a very fast submarine, by the looks of it. And now let's go ahead and add a good array of these things going on. We could also double down on it so it wouldn't be causing any roll issues. There we go. Now, where we are going to... This looks very similar to what we had last time, maybe a bit bigger, and it also, of course, is much more compact, but this is where we're actually going to string off the previous tutorial. And, yeah, well, that's the idea anyway. I think we're going to have a small hydrofoil array, not a big one, because these things are not cheap, and it just keeps it simple. And now I want you to have a hydrofoil set over here. This is going to be controlling our pitch, no, not pitch, I hope. Not pitch at all, rather the elevation depth, I suppose, yes. And that's their job. And now what we're going to do, there's a better way of doing it. I hope I do not have mastered that, so we're going to have TNG Yeah, it's gonna be TNG. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I'm going to be having indexes later down the line, so you won't get confused there. Now we have that thing going on, and we could also have some balloons, because who doesn't like balloons? And they will be used as our emergency air balloon deployers when we are too close to the ground, like really close to the ground. I don't mean like 50 meters, I mean like 5 meters. That's where we are going to deploy the balloons to get us off the ground. That should do the job. And now every single one of these have these two mappings. This is 3 and 4. Let's go ahead and copy that to the clipboard and just paste it across all these balloon deployers. What I did for the hydrofoils was spread to all touching components, which gets it for the entire array, which is really handy. Now let's go ahead and get to our Lua box and do the code we're supposed to be writing. So here's the interface. For future reference, if you need any help, press the help button. It's actually useful. There is a good documentation of many things, you know, some good functions you can call, which is very helpful. And of course there's some basics, you know, basic syntax, kind of handy. You know, this really, if you know any other programming, this is going to get you off the ground for Lua syntax. And if you don't, I hope it's still going to be useful. I most certainly do hope so. But now what are we going to do in... Okay, let's start by declaring another function. It's simple. And do not put the semicolon there. Very easy mistake to make. However, this is our new function. Now we're going to call this function every frame. There we go. Now this is basically, putting code here is the exact same thing as putting it over here. However, it's just, you know, if you watch the expert tutorial, you will know why I do this. It's for management purposes. Let's just put it that way. Now, first thing we need to establish is the position of our craft. So let's go do it this way. So we are calling iGetConstruct position, which is found over here in the self-awareness. We should have it over here somewhere. Yes, indeed. iGetConstruct position. It will return, say, vector 3 of the position x, y, and z. The y will be the depth or the altitude. This is what we would use in the estimated control block. It's just the y value of the position. However, now we're going to do the altitude from the ground. Let's see if I spelled that right. It does look so. Okay, so what we are now establishing here is alt equals position.y, basically our altitude from the sea level, minus the altitude of the ground level. And the way we get the ground level is I get terrain altitude for position, which takes 3 arguments x, y, and z. However, we are overloading with it with a vector 3, which does the job very well. You could also do it this way. And this would do the exact same thing. So, but we want to be more efficient, so we're just going to cut this and overload it with a vector 3 right away. Now we have these two values. Basically, this one is pretty much useless for us. However, the altitude is a very important thing. So let's go ahead and make sure we make use of it. So if altitude is too high, what do we want to do? Of course, we want to go down. So let's do that exactly like that. So what we are saying here is if altitude is more than 60 from the ground, then what we want to do is what is in this code. What we want to do is request the complex controller stimulus for the button number 2, which is the G. If you remember when we map those things, that's what those indexes are. That should hopefully do that. I mean, I might have some mistakes here and there. They will be debugged at the end. Now we do the exact same thing, but we flip this thing, and we have rather 40, and we've changed this one to 1. Now this is going to basically be the 2 control blocks we had, except that it's doing it for the hydrofoils instead of whatever was before that. Now, what we want to add one more line is if the altitude is below 10, let's say 20, then we are going to give out the control 3, which is going to activate the balloons. And what we want to do here, once it gets back to 60, we want to deactivate the balloons. Like this. That should be all the code we need here. Let's see how it runs. It runs perfectly. Fantastic. You can just copy it here, or whatever you wish to do. So now, let's see if these things are turned the way I want them to. They have not. What's the cause behind that? That's odd. Is the code running? Let's make sure of that. I'm always worried because they should not look like that right now. Oh, it should most certainly be more than 60 right now, unless we are seriously... It's more than 60, let's be honest. I can always have a print log and to make sure these things kept track of. But how do you log? I can't even remember that anymore, so that's where we go here. And it's I log. Okay, that's very easy. So now we should see these things being pumped out. And yes, it is more than 60, which means numbers 2 and 4 should be being pushed constantly. Which we are not seeing here for some reason. Are we? Is it just this? No. Wait, that thing is now actually following the order. So let's spread it to all touching components. Oh, I see the button too. Yes, it's the G button, yes. However, are they really maxed out? No, they are just needing... Okay. This is some very odd glitch right here. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. However, this is actually the way we want it, isn't it? Isn't this the way we want it? I believe so. Yes, okay. Spread to all touching components, please work. Of course it's not going to work. Okay. Well, this is most certainly going to be a place for a cut. That's most certain. Okay, yes, we will be right back once I've updated every single one of them individually. Alright, we're back. It's a very simple bug. All I have to do is turn this around. And that is it. We will push the F8 key to update. That's why it was very odd. It was pushing both keys. Now they are all lined up except those that are not, which will be because I was trying to fix them individually. As you can see, they are now all falling in line, and as you can see, it's now pushing it down. It's fantastic. Now let's go ahead and save this vehicle. And see if this puppy works. I have high hopes, but you know, you never know. Let's see. It is getting underwater. That's most. Oh, whoa! That is a very good point. We need to fix the Naval AI very much similarly as we did in the basics tutorial. We forgot to add it, and I then said now you can go, and then I figured out we were missing some critical things, which was quite terrible. Now let's go ahead and see what we need to do. Nominal approach setting is 0, however, we wish these two values to be pretty much identical. However, they couldn't be pretty high. And minimum range to preferably try to stay within 100 meters, thank you very much. And depth requirement, this is an actually value we forgot to add last time. That's fine though, because you know, they'll never know. They're basic submarine designers. They might just, you know, fix it themselves, right? However, that seems to be pretty much all we need to do. So let's go ahead and resave this thing, and that should do the job. Hopefully, please, would appreciate it greatly. Thank you, please. Okay, yes, it is working very well indeed. Now what we need to do is add the jet stabilizers. We are only place when we are not going to use these things are in the expert tutorial, which is by the way going to be uploaded a little bit later because it's a lot of work in planning that thing. Because that's seriously a big project and it's pretty much my frontier right now is figuring that stuff out. So I hope you will excuse the fact that it's going to take a little while before I'm going to necessarily make a tutorial out of it. However, it is definitely in the planning. There we go. That should pretty much do the job. However, I was not mirroring this. Of course I was not mirroring this. Oh, silly me. There we go. Now it should be mirrored. And now we can save over. And let's see how this thing now works. Looking pretty strong. So as you can see, what we gained, it's only slightly more expensive, and we are going to actually have some shields in this thing, most certainly. But what I want to see is this thing actually switching direction up to, you know, go upwards. So let's go ahead and destroy our vehicles and spawn it somewhere much lower, so we can see this thing hopefully turning to go upwards. Please. Oh, now it's really happy, I guess. The direction is... It's now still trying to go downwards, it seems. But it's not really getting some very concise pushing. I guess it wasn't happy with its direction. However, now it should be going down. Indeed it is. And yes, it has this very funky pattern of trying to move straight, so it just keeps on correcting its yaw. But it's getting the job done, so it's fine. As you can see, this is a very deep place, which is why it can go very, very deep before it starts trying to ascend. What we're hoping for is that it actually succeeds in it. Because it's kind of like an important thing to be succeeding at for a submarine. Otherwise it's just a sink marine. Which was a very terrible, very cheesy, very unbearable thing to say. Come on. You can't sink much deeper, right? You got to keep this video alive for this funky moving behavior, which is actually creating these very beautiful, you know, these wings for it. It looks kind of like an airplane with its tornadoes. Tornado, that's probably the wrong word, but I can't think of a better one right now. It's beautiful. However, what would also be beautiful for this ship to actually start moving upwards, we could of course just go ahead and hack it to do so. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because this is going to take way too long. Way too long. So let's go ahead and edit the code and change it from if altitude is below 80. No, let's say 100. This guy's, oh no, 1000, that's a little extreme, and this guy's 120. There you go. Now we should most certainly see this thing moving upwards, if we could find it again. Come on, sub. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Where is it now moving? Upwards or downwards? It should be... It's trying still to move downwards. Are you kidding me? Oh my... Oh, because of this. Yeah. It's like the most ridiculous thing ever. We'll soon be going over it, and it should then start ramping up the altitude very quickly. Okay, there we go. Now, is it moving up? Yes, it is. Fantastic. As you can see, this thing can control its depth, just as it is supposed to. Which basically leads us to almost the conclusion of this tutorial. And it has been going on for quite some time. However, let's go ahead and fix the torpedoes, which we did not do in the last video before way too late. So let's have torpedo propeller, torpedo sonar, some fins. One fuel tank is pretty much always enough for a torpedo. It's 4 propellers per 1 fuel tank, so don't waste your space doing anything more, I suppose. And let's go ahead and have a proximity fuse and some more. Whatchamacallit? Oh wait, I'm going to do this with explosives, aren't I? Yes, I am. It's just more efficient here because we don't have the space for fragments and all their systems. We will instead have a balance tank over here, and let's go ahead and just put that everywhere, and that's going to be the torpedoes done. We should be pretty much able to now see how this thing fares against other ships. Let's see if there are any glaring missing things that we really need to add. Oh yeah, the shields. Let's add the shields. Let's just be a little bit more fancy. We have the power for that, so why not? Let's get ourselves a shield projector. Oh yeah, we don't have really the space. Maybe we do. Let's see. And a shield color change. Will this be connected? Yes, it will. There we go. I like my invisible shields. That's probably too much. However, it's kind of cool though. Let me see. Where is it at? It's good that it's invisible, so I can't really know where it is. Let me disable the invisibility thing for now. There we go. Now it's very clear where the shield, what's being protected and what's not. Yeah, you want to make the range as small as possible while still covering the actual vehicle. Because the range too costs power, and you don't want to be paying that power. Let's make the width lower. Let me see. Oh wait, it's inverted, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that should be a pretty decent coverage of the entire ship from any above-facing threats. So let's make her invisible and see how much power we can actually pump into this thing. We have about 500 power to use. We can get here up to 9, which is pretty brilliant. Which is going to really increase the survivability of this thing. Now we will be adding some repair bots to keep this thing survivable, even more survivable. Because you know, small damages in submarines, you don't want that. That's bad, really bad. Or you don't want that to be lethal. There we go. This should do the job. Now let's go ahead and just add some of these guys. Here, fantastic. I'll save the vehicle. And bring her into battle. Let's see if there are any things we really need to add, otherwise this is a very incomplete ship. Once again, it's going to sink so slowly, I'm going to spawn it all the way to the water, because in a real, battle scenario, you would have time to, have this thing spawning underwater, because, well, you usually either build it there, or you have plenty of time to wait. So now we can add on, let's go ahead and get ourselves a river home. That's a very nice, very mighty ship. Let's see how this thing does against them. It's shooting its torpedoes out at a very, respectable rate, however, they are very misguided right now. But it is turning towards the river home. And it's now shooting a much more accurate barrage of torpedoes that seem to be moving in the right direction, I suppose. Or I hope. Yeah, looking pretty good right now. Indeed, we have destroyed their backside completely, which is going to make them swim lower. Assuming they had any air pumps there in the first place. Quite devastating, isn't it? Yes, it is. And this is the beauty of submarines, because it still looks like it's kind of fine above the water, even though below it's pretty clear things are going wrong. Bad time. And it's only, when it's way too late when you can actually notice something has happened to the ship. Like, it's completely tipped over. That's kind of bad. Usually a red flag. And there's a wood stream coming off of it. I think this guy's pretty much done for. Let's get some more challenging. Let's get a plunderer, because that's our classical opponent. Basically, submarines are the ideal counter for a plunderer, which is why I love fighting them. They have fun. However, my submarine is not aiming very well right now. That is a problem, however, he's going to fix it, hopefully. But as you can see, our shields are doing their job very well indeed. They're just missing all the shots. They are even almost hitting them. And we are actually starting to hit them. Fantastic. There's a constant stream of torpedoes coming in. And they are really unable to do too much about it. And as you can see, they shoot a massive amount of fire, but because of the water and the shields, they just did practically nothing to us. Which really, and there goes the ammo stockpile. That's pretty much a plunderer done for. So sad. However, it can still fire. Let's see if this thing can actually take out the engines as well. But yeah, it's just, you know, the amount of stuff we are reflecting is amazing. The shields, these bullets have such a low ammo piercing rating at the end of the day, so when they actually make it all the way to the bottom, it's amazing. However, the AI causing some damage, which is, you know, regrettable, but that's how it goes. And once again, the pounder looks pretty much fine from above. However, it is missing something very critical from below. And the guns are no longer reloading, which is a big advantage to us, because once they've shot their bursts, they are basically disabled. However, I think that really is a good place to conclude this tutorial. I hope you are all happy with the way I used the word advanced, because I hope that I wasn't doing anything too crazy, or you wouldn't feel this was way too basic. So, you know, if you are in the latter category, you should probably wait around for the expert tutorial, which is going to go far more advanced. And well, we'll be looking for that, I hope. See you next time. Bye.